So when you think of yourself as a Scrum Master, just imagine your role. The role you play is very crucial to the success of your organization and team culture, performance, and growth. And I'm going to repeat that again. As a Scrum Master, the role you play is very crucial and determines the success of your organization culture, performance, and growth, not just for your organization, but for your team. For Scrum Masters, we create value indirectly. And the ways we can contribute value to the organization and team is based on our team's performance or organization performance with the change that we implement or co-create together with the teams and the organization. And the way we show up to the system is very crucial and determines the value that we create.
Okay, Anu Gopald is an highly experienced, accomplished Scrum Master. And I'm particularly excited about the fact that she's a coach, a transformational coach, an enterprise coach as well, philanthropist, and she has her own meetup. She has Africa Agility that she's been championing. Currently, she just said she just concluded a quad 5 with 600 students from 20 countries. We are making difference in our own corner, changing the narrative, the direction of where Africa should go. Nobody's going to help us in Africa. We have to take our course by ourselves and be determined to make the change that we want to see. Because Chris Groshi says that opportunity don't happen, you make them happen. And so on this note, without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the virtual floor. I know the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Mercy, for inviting me. This is my first speaking engagement this year, and I'm super excited that it's within the Agile community in Nigeria, and it's also for my sister, Mercy. I call her Mama LEARNTOR. So good morning, afternoon, evening, every one of you, wherever you are dialing in from. You are very important guest here today, and I'm here to learn from you and at the same time impact your lives positively. So as we are getting started, first thing first, I was thinking, what kind of icebreaker can I do? And I actually change the entire presentation today. When she called me around 1 hour to today's engagement, I said, Mercy, please. I have a new inspiration and I'm changing the content. And she said, you know what, you are being agile. And honestly, this is what agile is all about. So as we're about to get started, I would love you to drop some information in the Zoom chat. What is one thing that you are looking forward to learning today? You already know what the topic is. 5 ways or different ways to avoid inexperienced Scrum Master screwing up your organization or your team agility. So what is one thing that you would like to learn today? Or what is something, a key takeaway that you want? Because I want to ensure that I'm very adaptive. And if I need to make any changes to today's presentation. So everybody on Zoom chat, I want to believe everybody can use Zoom, right? You know where the chat button is or the chat icon is on Zoom. So drop what is one thing that you would like to take away from today, or what is one thing that you would like to learn from today's topic. So quickly, in 2 minutes, let's start storming the Zoom chat. I would love to hear from every one of you. You are not here by accident. You are here because you want to get value from today's session. Yeah, good stuff. I'm saying effectiveness is really vague. If you can throw more light on that, what does effectiveness mean to you? What would you like to take out of here today from effectiveness and collaboration? So what does teamwork and relationship looks like? Remember, it's make your question to be tailored around the topic. And if we have time, I can answer any other question that is outside of today's topic. Where is the future of Agile in the next decade? That's a very good question. And it's like asking, what do you think will happen? Another COVID-19 or another problem that could happen in the next 5-10 years. New trends in the Agile space, how to stay valuable. Yeah. Team building based on Agile, how to be a great Scrum Master. Yes, we're going to talk a little bit about that today. All right, let's spend another 1 minute. Please ask your question around today's topic. That would be very helpful for me to make few tweak to today's presentation. And welcome to those that are just joining us. We are just getting started. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Everybody wants to be a great Scrum Master, but do you know what it takes to become one? We'll talk about that today. I'm so excited about today's topic because I have made mistakes. many times in my life when I started my Agile career as a Scrum Master. I have screwed up my team and my organization in especially emulating these bad behaviors, but it took me a while to realize that I'm not helping my team. I'm not helping my organization. I'm actually creating an anti-Agile pattern. So when you think of yourself as a Scrum Master, just imagine your role. The role you play is very crucial to the success of your organization and team culture, performance, and growth. And I'm going to repeat that again. As a Scrum Master, the role you play is very crucial and determines the success of your organization culture, performance, and growth, not just for your organization, but for your team. And here is an advice that I always give to Scrum Masters. When you think of what we do in the Agile space, we don't add value directly, like product owner, for an example. Product owner is the man or the woman that we the art of return on investment. The role is very clear. The outcome is very clear. The success criteria of product owner is very clear. They optimize the value of what the developers does. And when you think of developers as well, we all know that the crucial role a developer is playing is delivery incremental product increments every sprint. That is number one, usable. Number two, releasable. The value that they create is tangible and it is visible. But for Scrum Masters, we create value indirectly. And the ways we can contribute value to the organization and team is based on our team's performance or organization performance with the change that we implement or co-create together with the teams and the organization. And the way we show up to the system is very crucial and determines the value that we create. The way we show up, meaning the things we do, the way we act, the way we bring change, the way we implement change, determines if our team or organization Agile implementation is going to be successful or not. So I'm not going to talk about me. I'm just going to jump. These are different organizations that I've consulted for leading their large Agile transformation. I've even lost count of some of them. Now let's get started. There is a Yoruba adage that says, "Agba ki n wa loja, ki ori omo tuntun owo." And the English version is, "An adult cannot be in the market and the head of a newborn is crooked." So just imagine this image. And the gist behind this proverb is, when you think of the way we carry babies in Africa, we always back them, especially the mom. Now, with this 21st century world, men also back children. And there will be a wrapper that you use to bag the child, and also a smaller wrapper to ensure that the child is intact and the child will not fall. And sometimes, if the bigger wrapper is not wrapped well around the neck, what will happen? The baby's head will be awkward. And another person that can see the situation, what the person will do is either help the mom to adjust the head of the baby or inform the mom to say, "Can you rewrap your child in a very effective way so that the child's neck is not going to be hurt?" And what this proverb means contextually is this: an elder or a leader shouldn't allow bad behavior or negative things to happen around them. And you must be able to call out the situation and make things right, especially for the non-Africans here and maybe for the non-Nigeria here. That is just the gist around this. You cannot find an elder colluding with the system by not calling out its bad habits. Never in Africa. A true elder, a true leader will not collude with you when you are doing something bad without calling it out. And you know how our African parents and elders are. They don't keep quiet. They just say it. Just call it out the way it to be. Now, let me share my screen. And Simon Sinek said, "Leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is about taking care of those that are in charge." And I don't know, as Scrum Masters, I don't know if you've ever realized that you're not the one in charge of change. And what does that mean? What that means is, when you say somebody is in charge, that means the person is the one that is actually implementing, making the change happen. If there's any change that needs to happen for the team dynamic, yours is to guide the team in helping them to actualize the change or realize the change that they want to see happen. If an organization decides to adopt Scrum, Agile, whatever methods that are out there, your job is to help them and guide them to achieve their outcome. The person in charge of the change is the one that is looking for the change and would also live the change and benefit from the change. As Scrum Masters, we are true leader. It used to be called servant leader in the old Scrum guide, and it was changed to true leader. And what does it mean to become a true leader? You can unmute yourself. You can use the Zoom chat.
For someone to have good listening ears.
Yeah, you have to listen.
The person must be influential. Leadership is influence. So as much as possible, what you think it's supposed to be done, you should be able to influence your team. So leadership is all about influence.
Good communication skills.
Good communication skills. All right. So let's reimagine the role of a Scrum Master. And I'm going to play different scenarios for you. And you are going to go back into your different breakout rooms. I don't even know how many scenarios that I have here. So that will determine how many breakout rooms that you're going to go into. So let's imagine the Scrum Master role in a typical organization. From your experience or experiences, what are the different ways that you have seen Scrum Masters screen up an organization? It's actually the Scrum Masters anti-pattern or anti, depending on which country or part of the world you are coming from, that has brought awkwardness to the head of the child, or as Taiwo used said, twisted. So what are some of the ways that you have seen Scrum Master screen up a team or an organization? So unmute yourself. Let's quickly have conversation around this.
I want to say, what you don't know, there is no way you can imbibe or teach someone. It could be at the initial stage of one being a Scrum Master. Whatever you are doing will be based on the knowledge you know at that time. And the more you stay there, the more you know. So we get to know better every day. And so some of the things that may have happened in the past may be as a result of knowledge.
So lack of skills or experience enable a Scrum Master to screw up. But I love the antidote that you added, meaning the longer you stay in the organization, understand the team's pattern, and also improving your own skills and competencies. That could be an antidote or a reverse to unscreen what you have screwed. Beautiful. Let's hear from two more people.
Knowing that you're just a facilitator, you're not supposed to come up with a solution or try to solve the problem. You are supposed to facilitate the process is another, remembering that and helping the team to realize that, to help them to think the solution through. That's what I can think of right now. I mute my mic.
I would also add that one of the pitfalls, something that Scrum Masters get used to, is thinking one-sided, meaning that I'm focused on my team. You're not thinking of the system. So how does my work affect another team's work, right? So when we're focused on just that one team, we don't even think about dependencies, or we just think it's somebody else's job.
Yeah, I like that. So let me pick from Janet, and I will come back to you, Chichi. When you are the solutionist, when you think you are the most talented and the most gifted and have answers to all solutions, you have made the head of your team awkward. And coming back to Chichi, so one thing is that you need to realize as a Scrum Master or as an Agile coach is you are tapping into the greatness and the giftedness of your team to enable the outcome they want to see happen. You are not the sage on the stage. It's not your problem. It's not your solution. And you are not the solutionist. You have to tap into the collective wisdom of your team for the magic they want to see happen. And I've seen a lot of Scrum Masters, like when you ask a question, before you even give them time to process, you've already answered it. And you know what? For some team, they're like, there's even no point for us to think because our Scrum Master have all the answer. So you don't have all the answer. You are not the one in the pit. Only the people in the pit knows how painful and awful it is to be inside the pit. They are the ones that know what they are going through. And they are the best person to come up with the best solution. And yours is just to find a way to enable that to happen. Do you all understand that?
Yes.
Beautiful. All right, let's move forward. We are going to do another group activity, and we are going to look at different types of Scrum Masters and the way they have screwed up an organization and how you can avoid it. In this activity, what you are going to do is you are going to think about what are the behaviors of these Scrum Masters, of this elder. You know that sometimes we have some elder in our tribes, in our family, that they see so many bad things happening. Is it that they make it worse, or they just ignore it, right? As we see some parents that their children will be behaving badly, and they don't correct their children. So we are going to look at different types of behavior that makes Scrum Masters screw up their team or their organizational teams, if you have multiple teams. We are going to look at it from the behavior perspective and how could that Scrum Master change or avoid showing up in that behavior. So the first behavior is Scrum Master as an enforcer. Some people call it the Scrum Police. This is a thou shalt Scrum Master. We shall do it according to the way it's written in the Scrum Guide. The Scrum Guide says it should be this way and this way and this way and this way, without understanding what is really important and what really works for a particular team. I'm not saying don't follow the Scrum Guide, but when you are so rigid and methodical and mechanical, you will lose the purpose of Scrum, and you will also lose the purpose of the organization of the team implementing Scrum, because you just want to follow it according to the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1 to 20. I know it's more than 20, so or maybe less than 20. I just give the example. Then we're also going to look at Scrum Master as a rescuer. It's okay when you think you should rescue your team, or you are the Superman or the Superwoman or the superhero. Remember that the solution belongs to the team and the greatness belongs to them, and also the outcome belongs to the customer. Your job is not to rescue them even when they're about to fall. Honestly, sometimes I allow my team to make mistakes because people learn from the mistakes that they have made. If you don't allow people to be vulnerable, they're not going to learn from their experience, and they won't come up with their own way of doing things and improving their processes themselves. And when I'm talking about mistakes, I'm talking about mistakes or failures that has low risk. I'm not talking about failures that have high risk. Then we also have some Scrum Masters that they are enablers. Don't worry for that, I will catch you. You enable bad behavior. How could you allow your team or a team member to fall down the cliff when you know that it is very dangerous? I've seen a lot of Scrum Masters, and I've done it before, because I'm a good girl and I want everybody to be happy and I don't want to offend anybody. So what do? I collude with the system by avoiding its edges. I'm seeing that bad behavior and I'm not calling it out. I'm not revealing the system to itself. I'm not even using the working agreement to call out that bad behavior. And a lot of Scrum Masters are like that. Then we have the zombie Scrum Master. We know that as Scrum Masters, we are change agents. A zombie just do whatever, like a robot. This is when your team is just going through motion and there's no real change happening. Your job as a Scrum Master is to foster the culture of continuous improvement and change. For me, when I was a Scrum Master or Agile coach or whatever I do, I always want my team to be better today than the way I left them yesterday. I'm seeing it through the eyes of improvement. I'm seeing through the eyes of impediment. I'm seeing what my teams are not seeing. I'm seeing the improvement and change that should happen that they cannot see. Developers, the only thing they care about is I'm focused on my laptop and I'm working and I'm building solutions. Product owner is so busy dealing with stakeholders, collaboration, engagement, and backlog and everything. What does Scrum Master do when they are coding, when they are doing all those stuff? You are looking for improvement and change that will make your team better every day. That should be your goal. How can my team be better today than yesterday? Incremental and daily improvements. And it could just be this tiny little bit of tiny improvements. It doesn't have to be much. It doesn't have to be big. This is when you are just doing Scrum for the Scrum's sake. And as a change agent, no real change is happening within your organization. And there are so many reasons why this could happen. When there's lack of organization support, we don't care. We just want to have Agile Scrum in front of our name. And everybody in the world can know that, LEARNTOR. So sorry, LEARNTOR. LEARNTOR is an Agile organization, but I just have to think of an organization. As LEARNTOR, we are an Agile organization, but there's no real change happening. I'm not saying there's no real change. Remember, I just use LEARNTOR as an example, instead of calling out any organization that will come and sue me. So when you are adding no value to your team, there's no impact. There is no provoking change. You are a zombie Scrum Master. Let me repeat it. When you are adding no value, the intangible value, you can't say that, you know what, in this sprint, boldly and confidently say that, you know what, my team has improved in X, Y, Z. You are a zombie Scrum Master. You can't see it. The team cannot see it. The organization cannot see it every sprint. When you are not provoking change to happen without influence and authority, when there is no visible impact, you're a zombie Scrum Master. Now, let's talk about Scrum Master playing dual role. And this happens a lot in organization. I'm a Scrum Master and I'm a tester. I'm a Scrum Master and I'm a product owner. When the organization sets you up for failure, to fail, when you are the release train engineer or the release manager, whatever role they give you, and you're also playing the role of a Scrum Master, have you ever seen a CEO of an organization also playing the role of the chief marketing officer, one of those accountability or that role will fail because you can only focus 100% on one thing, or both can even fail. Or you find a CFO, chief financial officer, also playing the role of a chief sales officer. If I love finance and accounting, I'm going to do well as a CFO, but I'm going to fail as a CSO, chief sales officer. And there's a good intention for you accepting this role because they said, oh, you are the smartest and the best. Just, the way when organizations say, can you just play the role of Scrum Master and a BA? And we're hiring BA very soon. Somebody else will replace you. And they will never replace you because they want to get two for the value of one. I always tell Scrum Masters, please don't speak up. Don't keep quiet. You need to speak up, especially when this is impacting your performance. Then when Scrum Masters, when you see yourself as a manager, you are not the manager of the team. You don't manage the team. What you do is you manage the process. What do you manage? You manage impediments. And what does that mean? You are accountable to ensure that impediments are removed. That doesn't mean you are responsible for removing it, but you are accountable to ensure that you remove everything that is obstructing the flow of value to your customer and for your team. Anything slowing them down. You manage the Scrum process, not as a Scrum police or an enforcer of Scrum. No, you are not the team enforcer or the Scrum enforcer. When you enforce something on someone, even with my own little children, when I enforce something on them, I could see the negative impact. Yes, mommy will do it, but you know what? They're just doing it because mommy asked them to do it. And that doesn't mean they will do it well. You help them to understand why it is important and valuable for them to do sprint planning, daily Scrum, and all those events, and how they have to make their work visible on the sprint backlog, the importance and the value of it. That is how you manage the Scrum process. And when you think of a good Scrum Master as a manager, a good Scrum Master help a Scrum team survive in an organizational culture. There are some organization culture that is really horrible. And what you are just doing is you are cruising. So you are helping your team to survive, but a great Scrum Master help change the culture so as a Scrum team can thrive. Your job is to help change the culture of your team and organization so that your team can thrive. I didn't write this. Geoff Watts wrote this. You are ensuring that the health of your team is very, very good and healthy. And also, what are you managing? The boundaries of self-organization. What is in, what is out?
Sorry.
Yeah, do you have a question? Oh, yeah, I've seen Papa Ari raise hand, and I've seen Jenkins.
Yes,
I am Papa Ari.
I have a question.
Okay, can we take Jenkins first, then we go to Papa Ari?
Is this meeting free?
Did you pay to join? I guess it's free.
Okay. I just wanted to ask this. Okay.
I remember Chichi saying something that most Scrum Masters just focus on what is happening with their team without considering that the work your team is doing is going to impact other teams within the system. And also the work of other teams in the system is going to impact your team. A Scrum Master should not just focus on his or her team alone. You have to look at the entire system. How is the system helping my team to be successful and to thrive? And how is the system impeding my team to be successful and to thrive? And when you are thinking of system, you are thinking of people, processes, and tools. You are thinking of your stakeholders. You are thinking of your customers, well, which are part of your stakeholders anyway, but business, people outside of your team, the decisions that leadership and everybody is making that may impact your team positively or may impact your team negatively. So what's the boundary of self-organization? What are some of the local decisions that your team has authority to make, like estimating their work, like owning their own backlog, like assigning work to themselves, like being self-managed and self-organized, or whichever one you want to use out of the two? And what are also some boundaries or decisions outside of your team? Authority, not local, but strategic, coming from leaders, even coming from the business as well. So you manage those boundaries to ensure that some of those are not encroaching and somebody is taking away the power of your team. Then we also have overprotective Scrum. We know that as Scrum Masters, we should be protecting our team, protecting them from disruption, distractions, overcommitments, and every other things. But some Scrum Masters are just overprotective that, nothing can happen to them. you can't talk to my team anyhow. They are adults. They are not children. They own their own decision. They don't need us to protect them. What they need is for us to help them to understand behaviors that are not healthy, and even people working with them outside of your team, and showing them how they can protect themselves. If you keep protecting them all the time, the day you are not there, who is going to protect them? They need to understand what their superpower is and how they can use their superpower to protect themselves and challenge the status quo, instead of us doing it for them all the time. Because the day that we are not there, what would happen? We have to create an environment that is sustainable for our teams. Now, let me see, how many do I have? And we are going to go into breakout room quickly in 15 minutes. Actually 10 minutes. And let me see how many breakout rooms that we will need. So 7 breakout rooms, Mercy. So here is what you are going to do in 10 minutes. And I'm going to drop this here. Room 1, you are discussing the enforcer. Room 2, if you don't remember, we would send this to your breakout room. You are the rescuer. Room 3.
I think you should recreate this breakout room because we have more people. Otherwise, we'll have to manually add them to the breakout room.
So I'm adding the room 5, the dual role Scrum Master. Room 6, the manager. Room 7 is the overprotective Scrum Master. So in your breakout room, I would like you to discuss what are some of the behaviors that you see from an enforcer, from a rescuer, from an enabler. If a Scrum Master is an enabler, what are some of the behaviors that you're going to see from that Scrum Masters? And what are some of the antidotes? Mercy, if you can set up the 10 minutes timer in the settings of the breakout room so that they can see how many minutes that they have.
You can do that, Anu.
Okay, let me recreate it to 7 rooms. The breakout room will close in 10 minutes. Remember, what are the top 3 behavior of the Scrum Master your team is addressing? Remember, each team or group in the breakout room will only address one of those character or persona, and come up with what are the top 2 antidotes, the top 3 behaviors and craziness that you see from those Scrum Master, the role that you are playing, and also what are the top 2 antidotes. So don't overanalyze it, make it very simple. And off you go, your 10 minutes start now.
Did you recreate it?
Yes, I did. And I set it in a way that it will automatically move everybody to their breakout room. So, all right, welcome back, everybody. Let's just hear from 2 groups. Tell us one of the persona of a not a good Scrum Master or of an inexperienced Scrum Master, the persona your team worked on. Tell us the top 2 behavior of that person acting as inexperienced. And number 2, what are the antidotes? Just top 2 behaviors. Okay, can we hear from 2 teams?
Can I quickly speak on behalf of Group 5? And folks that are on Group 5, please keep me honest if I'm kind of like getting off track. So I think one of the things that we had discussed about was forcing ideas. Is Scrum Master forcing ideas on the team? Yeah. So
hold on. So what's that? What's the persona that you worked on? Rescuer or what? What's Group 5?
Duaro. So I think somebody mentioned that. So how do we address a situation whereby you have a Duaro? In my experience, what I did was I had a conversation with the management. I have 3 teams. They added a 4th team because we lost a PO. They wanted me to still act like a PO because I always attend meetings with the PO and I also help the PO in getting to understand the Agile process. So what I did eventually was I need the management to actually talk to me about how long it's going to take for us to get another PO. And that's one of the reasons why you really want to speak up. You want to speak up, you want to be confident, you want to have pride of command, and you also want to be bold. That's how I was able to discuss that.
Okay, I don't want you to get out of the activity. If you are a Scrum Master playing the role of a PO and a Scrum Master, what are some of the way you show up? Like, what are some of the behaviors that you practice or emulate that affect the team, and what is the antidote?
So what I believe is the role of a Scrum Master is different. The role of a PO is different. And one of the things that I know I've actually done was, act like a voice of a customer, which I'm not supposed to be. And also at the same time, playing the role of the one trying to talk to the team on how we're going to work with regards to the process and also with regards to delivery. So I believe that was kind of like a dual role, which was actually affecting my role and the way, because the respect I was getting from the team, I wasn't getting it any longer because the team, I was the one shielding them from the management, when the PO is slamming us with work. So now that I'm acting the dual role is becoming a problem and we're bumping heads. So, and that was the reason why I was able to come to the management. I was like, I don't think I'm getting the trust of my team any longer.
That's a great behavior, especially when you don't know when to separate. Okay, I'm wearing the hat of a Scrum Master now, and I'm wearing the hat of a product owner, and there's that bumping heads together happening. And that's really what shows up. And the way the antidote is being able to speak with leadership and, okay, this is having negative impacts in the team and it has to change. So good job, Kay, and your team. Let's take from one other team. What is the persona that you chose, and what are the behavior? What are the things that is visible and you see, and the way you act if you are playing that persona, and what are the top 2 antidotes? Quickly, let's hear from another team.
Team 4, we have a zombie persona. They lack attitude to their attitude. They're disengaged. They're very vague and not constructive. They do not challenge the status quo. So, and the solution is to take action and, of course, do a personal audit whereby what are my responsibilities and how do I take care of them. So that's a quick one.
Thank you. For the sake of time, I'm just quickly going to end this great session, and I want to drop 1 or 2 things with you before you leave here today. And I know other groups have different things. So what I want you to do after today is go and think about these 6 different characters or personas, and how can I avoid being this person with, or this personas with my Agile team. First thing first, your accountability is to create a Scrum-friendly culture. A Scrum Master accountability is creating a friendly culture within your team. And how do you make that happen? You are thinking of your team's success over individual success. Remember, you are not creating a Superman, you are developing a super team. You have to constantly encourage experimentation. There are so many unknowns, especially when you are working in a complex domain. So let your team continuously experiment. And if it doesn't work, dump it. If it works, improve it, and think of something else if it doesn't work. Remember, you are facilitating your team dynamic teaming or reteaming. Another thing is that you want to reward behavior over achievements. Most of the time in organization, you will see organization rewarding achievements, but not rewarding behavior. And you need to help the organization to change the focus to, we need to reward behavior. When you start rewarding achievements, you are rewarding individualism instead of collaboration. Then you need to promote Agile way of working, or Agile contracting, as popular as it is called. And also, when you are thinking about how can I lead without authority, I think 1 or 2 people mentioned you have to listen, you have to show empathy. And I'm looking at it from different way, and I'm going to give you like 2 or 3 tips. Tip number 1, leading without authority is all about true leadership, and how can you build relationship and trust. Everything is all about relationship and trust. If I don't trust you, you can't ask me to do anything and I won't do it, right? And when you are looking at, the 3 different ways that you can act, or different people, you are looking at your team. Chichi mentioned that most of the time we focus on our team. That's level 1. Then you also have to start thinking about how can I build relationship and trust with other teams within my ecosystem, especially when you're working in SAFE, you call it the Agile release training and stuff. Then how can I build relationship and trust within the entire system? I always tell Scrum Masters, enable your team to be self-managed so that you can focus on the ecosystem of the organization and how they can help your team to become effective and thrive. Tip number 2, you need to start influencing from inside out, and this is across organization. And how do you influence from inside out? Think about yourself first. How do I show up within the team? What are my negative and positive behavior from you inside is what you have inside that you can give. Tao said at the beginning, if you don't know it, you don't know it. You give jargons, they learn jargons. So what needs to change inside of me so that I can give that gift to the people that I am facilitating the change for? Listening, powerful questions, co-creation, collaboration, empathy, cares, and also beautiful stuff help you to influence from inside out. And tip number 3, use the Scrum values to create an environment of trust. Oh God, there are different games that you can play with the Scrum value. Finally, if you could change one thing for within your organization or within your team from what you have learned today, in the Zoom chat, drop it. What is that one thing that you will change? And thank you for giving me the opportunity to impact your life today. Thank you, Mercy. I'm handing over to you. But please, I would love to see some comments in the Zoom chat. If you could change one thing about yourself, about your team, or about your organization from what you have learned today, what would that one thing be? And if there's any key takeaways, you can drop it in the Zoom chat as well.
Does anybody have any questions? And what are the takeaways? What really stood out for you you throughout the session? What stood out for you? Can I get someone actually on mute?
Okay, so Mercy, thank you for putting this together. Anu, thank you for always being there. I remember those days when I was struggling. You supported me. So what I actually, every Scrum Master, I've actually been part of this, whereby I begin to derail, and I'm glad for seminars like this that brings us back on track. Forgetting to add agendas to all my meetings, and also outcomes and key roles, and also action items. Sometimes we forget action items when we do retrospectives. So that's a value that's been added to me today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can I get two more?
Yes, prioritizing continuous improvement. So always try to look for ways to do things better. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more?
Good evening. My own takeout is the quote Anu used, that leadership is not by being in charge, or by taking care of those who are in charge as a Scrum Master. Thank you.
And that's from Simon Sinek. I didn't write the code. I didn't create it. He did. But thank you, Toro.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Can I take two more? Just two more?
All right. I just want to say thank you, Coach Anu. I've been in your class and I've learned a lot. So thank you so much for everything. That's what I gotta say.
Thank you. And Mercy, there's some stuff in the Zoom chat as well.
Okay, do you want to run through that, Anu?
Oh, no, you can. I've handed over to you, Mama.
Okay, so I want to do something. Please, some of the things that you have typed here, the truth of the matter for me, besides us trying to add value to our community as a continent, besides us helping everyone to grow, it was important that we change the trajectory. It's not just having meetup for the sake of meetup. It's not just doing any of the usual activity. I mean, who says it? Albert Einstein says the meaning of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. We want to make a difference. We have to create the difference that we want to see in the world today. I'm going to drop a link. I've just posted a thank you for Anu. I don't know if anybody has seen it. I want you to just type something there. Celebrate Anu. It would be nice if you can mention LEARNTOR. Most of the time, Anu keeps giving. She's a gift that continues to give. And I appreciate Anu as a friend and as a sister, as a mentor, by the way. She is not just my friend. She's my senior colleague. She's my mentor and she's my partner. If we don't keep sharing our expertise with our community, how many of you would say you took something out of today that was valuable? On a scale of 1 to 5, would you say, how would you rate what you're taking out today? On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. Okay, I see a lot of 5s. You see a lot of 5s. So, okay, somebody did a 6. Okay, I like that. Okay, thank you. Rated at a 6, even beyond. So if you do and you got value, that post is going to be online. I know what Anu is and I know the impact she's created. Why don't you write it on the post that we have shared? That's a thank you post from LEARNTOR to her for honoring us with her grace. And I would like to use that same medium to inform you all that LEARNTOR Agile community will continue to do the best we can to be able to give to the community, to impact our community. Like Anu is changing. We need more people. We need more Anu. It's tough, especially for us as women doing this in this space. Anu, wouldn't you say that?
Yeah.
But you have to work twice as hard what men would get away with. We have to do it 10 times more. But we have to do it well. It's not just being a Scrum Master, it's being a great Scrum Master that can actually drive organizational productivity, efficiency, and increase performance. My friend told me this 2 months ago that in Canada, certain region, when Scrum Master roles are being put out, people, they actually put it there, do not apply if you're Nigerian, Ghanaian, and Cameroonian. Why? Because our people, when they hear there's an opportunity, is to go and spoil it. I don't know what it is. It's just to spoil it. And it doesn't make any sense. And that's why we are already spoiling the market. But if you're good at what you do, I can assure you that you will stand out, you will stand tall. Please leave a comment, tag Anu, celebrate her, acknowledge what she's done here today if you got value from it. And I'd like to say LEARNTOR offers cohort program as well. And our cohort is launching. Cover in our cohort business analysis, Agile, Scrum, with opportunity of you getting a professional Scrum Master by a professional Scrum trainer. So So if you're not a Scrum Master and you're trying to get into this space, learn from the best. Anu equally offers Scrum training. I don't know when our class is going to be up. I'll ask her to talk about it, but our cohort is so holistic that we make sure you're not just picking Scrum to learn, that you can function whether you're a business analyst or a project management officer, or you can function understanding design thinking. So that is one of the things that we offer as a business. So if you'd like to know more, I would encourage you to connect with us, send me a direct message, and I'm happy to engage in conversation. And if you know anyone that has jackpot and not finding their bearing, please reach out to us. But Anu, I know you normally offer Scrum training as well and coaching. Do you want to speak to that as well?
Yes. So actually my next session is this weekend, Friday and Saturday. For the Scrum space, and I also have a certified Agile coaching program coming up the last weekend, Friday and Saturday. I don't know if Aisha is here. Aisha can drop that. The last Friday and Saturday in January, and the product ownership class is in February, and the Agile team's facilitation certification is in February. I can share that with Mama Lento and she can share it. I wasn't prepared, so I didn't even know where the link is.
I'll put it on the where I will tell you to take a look at it. I will tell you to take a look at it on the LinkedIn post. Whatever she shares, the link to share, I'll put it on the LinkedIn post. So I really appreciate you. Go drop a comment. Oh, thank you, some of you that have done that. Thank you. Please do a mention of LEARNTOR as well. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate your kind comments. Please leave a comment, celebrate Anu for our brilliance. And once the link is shared, I'll drop it here so everybody can come here and check. But follow LEARNTOR on all our channels. And if you have any question with regards to our professional Scrum Master training that is scheduled for next month, and it's not just Scrum Master that we are offering you. LEARNTOR has partnership with Scrum.org, the same certification that people will pay a fortune for. Because of our partnership, the barrier to entry is easier. But if you're overseas, the terms and conditions are different, because the terms for people overseas are different. Anyway, on this note, I want to call it an evening and say thank you. And can I ask a yes or no question? Would you recommend someone to attend the next meetup? The next meetup is about how to position with a good CV, and it's coming from my friend. We have a challenge going on the Nigerian business community for you to be able to develop an app with zero coding experience. Tech is not as complicated as people have made it sound. Anybody can succeed in this space. All you need is a heart. You need the commitment that you're open to learn. And on this note, Anu, my profound gratitude for always being there and honoring me. Please share the information you want to share, and I'll be happy to share it with everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Anu. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
So
much.
Thank you, everyone. Balumi, I see you. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful day.
All right, see you too.
Thank you.